Let's get deep. Today's January 1st, 2019. Okay? I had my kids yesterday, and I had them the day before, and then they went back home and then came back at noon, or, 3 o'clock, because Xavier ran away because his mom disagreed with it, or said he couldn't go and hang out with the girl on New Year's Eve, which he was coming with me anyway. So I tried to talk to him, make him understand that when you don't get your way and you react that way and run away and throw a fit, whether somebody wasn't listening to you or not, running away is not going to answer the problem. No matter how much you think it is, it's not going to. All it's going to do is make things worse. And his mom isn't like this crazy, psychotic person who's holding him down and torturing him like some evil being. All she's doing is not letting him do one thing, but he's making it seem that that one thing runs his life. And he's even said that's all he can think about is this girl. Well, he knows right there that he's admitting that the girl is somewhat of a problem, if that's the case. Yes, his mom may be what he sees as the problem because she disagrees with him about letting him do that one thing. But that doesn't make sense to react the way he's doing, because being a 14-year-old, what's he going to do? Take the 13-year-old and run off together and live in the streets? That's not a wise thing, and he knows that, and he just doesn't know how to control when he doesn't get his way. And it's more than that, and I'm not trying to put him down because I understand what he's going through, because I feel it, I understand it, but I can't put it into words like he could, but he can't either. So, I mean, I get him, and that's not the whole issue here. The whole issue here is like, from Leo and Jasmine and Brianna and Xavier, Oliver and Matt. You know, Matt said he was sick yesterday and he stayed home at his mom's house, which, you know, I was hoping he'd come here and stay with me at my parents' house, but he didn't want to do that because he wanted to hang out with his friends in Corey, and I get it. I totally get it. But it's the program, man. I mean, I was in the program too. When I was young, I wanted to hang out with my friends, not my parents, not with other people besides my family. And even now, I don't see my family that much. And I understand all that stuff. It's all program. It's all how you grew up and what you did along the time. If you had years and years apart from your family members, you grow apart. And when you see each other, you're used to not being together. If you don't spend time together, it sort of sucks, but at the same time, you're fine. Okay, well, I've held on to that bond with my kids, whether they've held on to it with me or not. Every day I think about how I want to see them. And when I see them, I have ideas of things I want to do, and I have ideas of things I want to do, and I mention them, and they don't seem into it. And that's fine. But then when I ask them what they're into, they don't have any ideas. So then I'm forced to come up with an idea that wasn't my original thing that I wanted to do, but since they don't have an idea, I got to try to come up with something that we can do. Does that make sense? So it puts me in a bind where we're not doing exactly what I wanted to do, and I have great ideas, but we don't do those. We do other things, and we end up doing something that we always do, like a card game or another different game. And lately we have some new ones because Christmas has just passed, but it's different, you know, like we got a couple new games. But that aside, say it's either a movie or a game or whatever, and I want to do new things. I want them to expand themselves. I don't care if we go out and just today we're going to do a bunch of different exercise routines, and today we're going to study some new thing. And I don't want to be boring and weird, but why would studying like the sun or the earth or something like that for a little bit be weird? Because you're doing it with your family. You're forced to do it in school, but if you do it and you watch it and you ask questions about it and you have no other distractions and you learn something, learning something does something to your brain that helps you. And not just because I'm older, because I'm doing it on my own by choice. It's huge. And I don't want them to feel forced. I want them to come up with the ideas of what they want to learn about, and I will help them do it. There's a big difference between forcing anybody. See, that's with me. I have all these great ideas and all these things I want to do, but I refuse to force my kids to do anything. I'm not going to yell at them and say, you're going to do this because I told you to. Like, if it had something to do with, like, saving them from hurting themselves, yeah. But when it comes to, like, we're sitting around, they're visiting, we're in the same room, we can either play a game, watch a movie, watch TV, they can play a video game, go on their phone and do whatever, and like, I would rather do something together as a family. So I say that, it sort of sucks, because I want to do stuff as a family, but I'm not going to force anybody to do anything, so I'm not going to say, hey, put your phone down and let's do this. Like, I say that, but they don't, I say, I'm not going to make you do anything. So they just sort of look at me and don't say anything and just go back to what they were doing. Or I'll tell them heartfelt about how much I care and how much I want to help the world and how much I believe, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter to them if it's just words. I really mean these things. I have to pause it. Your eye. And I got off on the Xavier subject. Now it's way better. I had to pause it and take a drink of water. I got off starting with the Xavier subject and going to something personal, as, regular everyday life. Dan, his son's got a problem with a girl. And to me, that's so petty. And, if he hears this, there's nothing, I don't have anything against any individual person. But the girl he's talking about means nothing, essentially. But at the same time, she's just as magnificent as everybody. I love her, too. But since I don't know her, and she's never had an effect on me personally, she's nothing. And even the people that have an effect on me personally, if something happened, I would move on and be totally happy, because that's all you can do. So the idea of acceptance and separation and attachment and all that stuff and unity, how is detachment and unity are hand in hand when it comes to this? I know what happens when we die, and I know what will happen. I don't want anybody that I love or care about to be hurt at all. But if something happened to somebody, I would be okay. I would cry in my human form, but deep down I would know that they're okay. I mean, I love, and then by saying that, it sounds like I don't love people, okay? Well, think about this, okay? Even, I'm going to use just someone for example. My youngest child, Leo, I love him to death. He's awesome. He's my baby child. Of course I love him. And not just of course I love him because you're supposed to. I love him. We had many, many close times, okay? But what is it that we love about each other? And I'm not saying me and him personally now, but what is it that we as people love about each other, okay? He's my son, so I'm supposed to love him. I do, but not just because I'm supposed to, because I've had those quality moments. Well, I believe that I can have that with anybody. Although I've had it with him, so I do love him, literally. The thing that I understand is that other people have people like Leo in their life that they love, and they care that way about that person because of the effect and the interaction that they've had with that person. Just because I haven't had that specific interaction with that specific person doesn't mean that I'm not capable of loving them unconditionally for who and what they are deep down underneath all their backstories and extras. It doesn't matter, okay? So when it comes to Leo, do I love him? Yes. What do we love about people? Okay? I love that Leo's my son. I love that he's a big goofball, and I love when he's, and I don't just love him when he's obedient. I love him when he's disobedient. I love him when he's wild and crazy. But we as people, we look past it, we understand it, but then we try to guide them in a right way. So my way of showing that I love him is to tell him to stop doing things, and is to be a little stern with him, but at the same time I try not to yell, but at the same time, anytime I tell any of my kids something that's not agreeing, they get totally shut off. And I don't know if it's a new thing with the generation, but you're not always right. And I'm not trying to say that I'm always right, but I have very good moral and I don't know what the word I'm looking for, when I analyze a situation, I'm not usually wrong. Maybe I don't know the specifics of a situation, but about the way feelings and the way you should react to it, I do have pretty good insights and good, at least, ideas. I can't make anybody do it, but if anybody would try the things that I say, I know it would help. That's the thing. But people aren't trying, and people aren't listening, and I don't understand why. So I want to ask an enlightened person, am I not supposed to be attached to my kids? And when they don't listen to me, am I supposed to be mean and yell at them and make them listen when I'm saying I understand what's going on in this world? They're totally part of the program. They're not connected with anything spiritual because they've been deluded by their mom's Christianity. And the other two, the younger ones, they're with people who have they're nothing at all when it comes to religion or spirituality. And they just live by the rules of make money and eat meals and make money and eat meals, and whatever you do in between is just whatever you find interesting. And they find interest outside of them, and they have nothing that they're interested in besides some TV shows, some gossip things, some modern technologies, and it's all the same program. And people aren't seeing, they're stuck in that. And I see it, and my kids are seeing that because they're young, and I'm telling them before they get too old to see it. And because they're stuck in it, they don't know how to get out of it. So when I talk to them, I see that I make sense to them. But then I think it sort of scares them away. So I need to ask somebody who actually has some insight on this, because if I ask a doctor or ask anyone knowledgeable or with so what we call wisdom because they're older, like my mom, she's very smart, but she's not spiritual, and she doesn't get what I'm talking about on my level. So how am I supposed to react to my children not listening when I have a way that I believe that if my mom and dad followed me, they would be going the right way? what they're doing right now, what they're thinking of the world, whether they're content with what's going on and whatever. I can help them, but they just don't think I can help them. But at the same time, when I'm around them, I go back to playing Dan, and I can't be anyone but Dan when I'm around them, and I don't know why, because I can't let go of that personal attachment, and I don't want to run away from them, and their human lives will pass, and I won't see them anymore because I want to chase myself. But see, how am I supposed to not be selfish, but be about me, and love me completely, and show the people I love I care, and how am I supposed to do that without wronging somebody somehow? So I need to ask this to somebody who has an answer. Not there's definitely not a religious person, like a priest or anybody I could talk to. They have no clue what they're doing themselves. They're like my family members, whether they care about me with all their heart or not, they can't help me with this because they don't understand where I'm coming from. And nobody I know on an everyday basis or anywhere around me that I can think of, looking up on Facebook, trying to reach out to somebody, I have nobody that I can think of that has any spiritual ideas. Some people think they're spiritual because they've, I've had some experiences in my life, but they're not spiritual. They're not spiritual. I've got Native American in my background. You're not spiritual because you got Native American in your background. I've meditated before. Okay, great. You've had bad dreams, whatever. This is something that's constantly part of my life. I'm not getting sucked into any media saying no gossip, not even my own children's relationships and their problems. I can't take their problems seriously. I see them hurting, and I take that seriously. Their problems with the girl, and Matt's up here and he's sick, and I have so many things to tell him and give him wisdom, but he's not even understanding. He thinks that he knows what he's talking about because people think that he's a light child or a earth angel. Like, if he's got some spirituality to him, he's not impressing me with anything that he knows because he hasn't told me anything. He rambles a lot about, how everything is one and everything is one, but he's got no way to explain what he's experienced to me. At least he has not yet. And I have my things to explain to people, and if I get tongue-tied, the reason I get tongue-tied is because other people try to defend themselves when they haven't been to the place I've been to. And nobody has been there. Nobody has been to where I've been. Nobody's where I'm at right now. Nobody is feeling this, talking to themselves on a fucking cell phone and being completely straight. I'm not crazy. This isn't something that I just think happens. It's my life now. It's who I am. I'm a spiritual being trapped in a human body. This Dan Alexander, who's being compared to and being looked at as everybody that's known him as Dan Alexander up to this point, and doesn't think that there's more to us than this. When I know that there's so much more to us than this, that I can't even think like what I thought I was before is an ant compared to the Empire State Building. It's nothing. The Dan Alexander, that is the business owner, father, son, blah, 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 is nothing. Means nothing at all. What does that mean to anybody? Even my mom and dad. I want them to hear this someday, but I'm afraid to show it to them because I'm afraid to think that they'll think I don't care. Because I do care more than anything or anyone that anyone knows. I care about all the people that are alive, about all the things that are here in a way that sounds pathetic. But it's not pathetic. It's true, unconditional love. And I have to let go of that when I'm around people because it gets so it's so hurtful because of the negative vibe I get from people who, even if they act like they understand me, they don't understand me. And it's a feeling of, I get it, on a level that they're not even scratching the surface of an itch. It's like they think they understand water when they're standing on ice. And I'm 20,000 leagues below the ice under the water. Like, I don't know how to put it into such terms, and I'm not trying to put anybody down because people are exactly what they've been formed to be and what they've allowed themselves to become and what they've accepted of themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not trying to say that anybody's quote unquote wrong, but about what people think about life and spirituality and what's going on and life after death and all the things that people have heard or don't know about or don't care to know about because they just don't know what to believe. I know, and I can't be proven wrong. There's nobody who's going to prove me wrong. You can kill me, and I will die with somebody killing me, telling you the same thing that's going on right now. And when you die and you're there, you'll see me saying, I was not wrong. That's as determined and as very, I don't know what the word, I'm very, very believing of myself. I'm very convinced and very, whatever the word may be, that this is not some act I'm putting on. This is all I have left. And I have everything left. I have all there is to offer. But if nobody will look at me as a straight, like, I'm so fucking sick of being looked at as the bread guy or Dan, the guy who has no money. Who gives a fuck about money? I don't even care about money. That's the problem, is I don't care about money to have it. And it's the thing that we have to have. It should be falling all over me. It should be raining on me, and I believe it should be. But there's something holding it back because of the way I'm approaching my spirituality and not allowing myself to go out and get the money. And I don't know anyone around me who's going to follow what I'm doing unless I just go out and start doing it. And I'm afraid to just go out and start doing it, because in order to start doing it, I got to get away from everybody. I can't go back to my parents' house. It totally gets me undetermined to do anything, because I have to be quiet, and they're not as creative, and that's understandable. They're from a different generation, and I'm from a different species. I don't even know. I'm from a different spiritual species. Like, yeah, I've been made comprised and composed of the atoms and the sperm and the egg of my mom and dad. But that's it. Once you're born, you're made of the things you eat, the things you see, the things you take in, and the things you experience. That's what makes you. I mean, two people having sex doesn't mean that much when, say you're a person who just your mom got knocked up by some dude at a party, and you never know your dad, or you never know your mom, or both your parents died, or you're an orphan, and I'm not trying to put any of those situations down, but who made you does not make who you are at all. My mom and dad are great parents, and we're great parents, are great parents, and, that has nothing to do with who I truly am. It has a lot to affect who I am, and I do think that my mom and dad have a huge amount of effect of what my life has been. But I'm not like anybody else. I totally understand things in a different way, and I've experienced things that I can't, and nobody else will ever experience them. Whether they came into my world and they experienced them from their point of view, they'll never experience them the way I did. And it's just something I can't let go of it, because it was that intense and that massive and that meaningful that I can't let go of it. I won't let go of it. I won't allow myself to. It's too important that the world needs to know. And how many people feel this way and think this way and say this kind of stuff? I don't know. But I've never heard one. Maybe they said it once, but they don't feel this way 24/7 all the time. Unless they feel like they got to get that money. They got to get that money, son. I'm determined to get this money. I'm determined to make something of myself so that I can show this person or that person that they were wrong about me. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show this person, that person, they were wrong about themselves. And they can help themselves be completely happy. I can show you what we are. The oneness that is us. I can show you what that is. Nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with me. Something to do with all. It's heavier than that.